What's going on, guys? It's me again, your friend Scott, or Mr. CMT. When we go to different countries, or let's just say when we go to someone else's house, we tend to observe their rules and regulation. And since we are talking about the Philippines, let's talk about the culture in the Philippines on what to do and what to avoid when you go to the Philippines. There are different ways on how to greet someone when you are in the Philippines. And there's one thing that really outshines everything or all those kind of greetings, and this is what they call mano. Mano is when you greet someone like an older person, or like your parents or someone else's parents or grandparents or even your uncle or your auntie, and you are going to get their hands and put it on your forehead. So that's what they call mano. Now, if you want to, try to impress someone and you want to win their hearts, that is the best way to win their heart. When you are in public and then you saw a crowd or someone who's standing there and you want to pass through, you just don't walk through him or her. It's because that is kind of offensive. But what you're gonna do is you're going to extend your hand and walk through. And you don't have to say, "Excuse me, I'm gonna pass through." Just by extending your hand, it is understood that you are going to pass through, and they will let you, and they will not feel that you are disrespecting them. Do not blow your nose in public, especially when someone is actually eating, because this is disgusting. Well, anywhere in the world, you don't want to do that, especially when you are eating or when someone else is eating, or when someone around you or within the vicinity and they are eating and then you blow your nose. It's gonna be disgusting. They will give you an evil eye. This is practiced around the world, but this is very particular in Japan, but it is also practiced in the Philippines, and this is handling business cards. When you are handling business cards in the Philippines, make sure that you are handing it to someone with your two hands. And when you are on the receiving side, make sure that you are also receiving it with two hands. And before you keep it, make sure to read it so that the person who gave you the business card will not feel bad and will think that you are actually interested in making business with him or her, and even though you are not. I get in trouble with this a lot. Do not tell someone that they smell or they stink. When you see someone or smell someone who smells like body odor or their breath stinks, don't just tell them that their body odor is actually smelling or they have bad breath, because this is going to be offensive. Filipinos are very particular when it comes to their hygiene, and we should understand that not all deodorant or not all mouthwash actually works for certain people. So let's try to understand that, and if it really bothers you, what you need to do is just either go away or walk away, or if that person is kind of close to you or you know that person, tell that to that person secretly, okay? Don't just blurt it out in public that he or she smells or her breath or his breath stinks. Okay, that is going to be offensive, and it can actually cause a fight. When you are talking to someone, particularly you are trying to make a point, never ever use your finger by pointing out something and pointing out on someone, because this is actually very aggressive in nature. And they tend to take it seriously, and they might think that you are actually looking down on them, or you think that they are second-class citizen and you don't respect them. So never ever use your one finger in pointing out something or pointing at someone. If you cannot avoid to use your hand gestures, you can actually use two fingers or your hands to imply something. We want our children to express how they feel, to speak out. We encourage them. But in the Philippines, this is there's a shady part about this, because especially when adults are talking, children are not allowed to join the conversation. So never ever let your children join the conversation or adult conversation, because this is a sign of bad manners. And it will just reflect on how you raised your kid. And you don't want them to think that you didn't raise them well. And that's the reason why they have bad manners, by joining adult conversation. This is kind of funny, but it's simple. Do not fart in public. So, well, anywhere in the world, you don't fart in public. But especially because I know some countries that they just fart it out, just pass gas. But in the Philippines, it's either they're gonna get mad at you or they are going to laugh at you. So if you don't want to get offended, don't offend someone by farting in public or right next to someone, okay? When you are about to eat and you are really hungry, it is encouraged to ask people around you, particularly when you are with your friends or with your family, ask them if they want to eat also. It is just like a gesture. You don't have to give it to them. You don't have to give your food to them. All you have to do is just to tell them or ask them, do you want to eat? Or just say, let's eat. And then you can start eating. Don't just dive in and start eating, because that is a sign of selfishness and being inconsiderate. And one more thing, when you are trying to close a bottle of pop, especially if it's like 2-liter pop, don't close it too tight, because people might think that you don't want to share. That's the reason why you close it so tight, even though your own reason is just to keep it fresh and not to stay flat or not to get it flat. It's kind of funny, but this is really true. Do not glare at someone when you are talking to them. That glare that actually looks like you want to eat them, or that glare that looks like so creepy, they will actually find you creepy. And they might think that you are a pervert if you glare at someone. Okay? You can look at them, you can stare at them, but do not glare, because you might get slapped. Okay? Never ever use your mouth to kiss someone on the cheek, especially if that person is just your friend or not even close to, or just an acquaintance, or just just someone you know. Don't give them a kiss using your mouth on the cheek. What you need to do is to do the beso beso, which is cheek to cheek. Okay? So always remember, it's cheek to cheek and not mouth to cheek, because it implies also sexual aggressiveness, and it's just violation of someone's space, personal space. So you don't want to do that. Don't make them feel uncomfortable by bringing our culture into the Philippines, because we all know that the Philippines is Filipinos are very conservative. On your first meeting, do not embrace or hug someone, because that is also a violation of personal space. And you don't want to do that. You don't want them to feel uncomfortable, especially if the intention is just to know that person or to do business with the person. If you are doing business with a person, it's your first meeting, all you have to do is just shake their hands, or if it's just a casual meeting, a small wave actually is fine with the Filipinos. So don't embrace or hug someone. But if you become close, or when you become close to to someone, you can actually start hugging or embracing someone, but make sure to it that there is still space between you, and that is the personal space of that person who you don't want to feel uncomfortable, okay? Because they might feel uncomfortable, and remember, they are conservative. Okay, this is simple and self-explanatory. Do not wink at someone in the Philippines, whether male or female, because winking at someone actually is sexually suggestive, and you don't want to do that. So don't do that. They might find you creepy. They might find you that you are interested in them or flirting with them, and you don't want that to happen. Okay? When you are calling someone, do not, never ever use this finger to call someone. No, don't call them using this finger, because it is actually sexual in nature. And this kind of calling is actually one form of catcalling, or you are trying to imply sexual gesture. It makes them feel uncomfortable because that kind of calling is actually only used in, sex trade industry, or it is very suggestive. It's very sexually suggestive. And one more thing, by the way, never ever call someone using the word hey. Don't use that word because it is very offensive and you don't want to get in trouble for calling someone hey. Because in the Philippines, you only use that word when you are calling a horse or a dog or someone who is actually non-human. So as much as you can try to avoid it, never use the word hey in calling someone. You can use excuse me, mister, or sir, or ma'am, or miss, but never use the word hey. So there you go, guys. These are the few things that you must understand or you must try to know when you go to the Philippines. These are just simple things. Filipinos are getting more and more liberal nowadays, and if they know that you are a foreigner, they might probably not pay attention to those small things. But it's their culture and we must respect their culture. Respect begets respect, so if you want them to respect you, respect their culture as well. And the Filipinos are very hospitable, they are warm-hearted, and they are always ready with a smile to welcome you. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button or the Mr. CMC logo. And if you haven't followed me on my social media accounts yet, here are my social media accounts. And just follow me there. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can either put your comment on the comment section below or on my social media. Don't worry, I reply to every messages that I receive because it is one way of saying thank you or being thankful to all my subscribers and followers. So once again, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye for now. Respect begets respect. When you are in someone else's country or someone else's home, make sure to abide by their rules and the culture of that particular country or particular home, so people will try to invite you back again.